Welcome to Tongue Fu 2, Advanced Techniques for Dealing with Difficult People. I hope that you enjoyed our first sessions and found those ideas on words to use and words to lose and responses instead of reactions. I hope you found them useful and that you've been able to put them into practice and that you find that they help you think on your feet and handle challenging situations more clearly, more calmly, and with more confidence. Now let's talk about our next session, and that is how to end complaints instantly. A friend of mine, Dot Perry, called and she said, "Boy, Sam, I was at the vet's last week and they could have used Tongue Fu." And I said, "What happened?" She said, "Well, I took my cat in for her annual teeth cleaning and flea shots and so forth. And my appointment was at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock came and went, no vet. 10:30 came and went, no vet. And now there was a little kind of yappy dog that the owner was letting run around the office. And there was a Great Dane and a Rottweiler, who are normally very gentle dogs. They were kind of at the end of their leash and getting a little snappy. And so I finally went up and I rapped on the glass and I said to the receptionist, I said, "Where is the vet? I had an appointment at 10 o'clock. It's almost 11 o'clock. And she said, "Oh, I know, I'm sorry, but he's running late." And Dot said, "But what's happening? How long is it?" And she said, "Oh, the other vet didn't show up." And so and back and forth they went. And Dot said, if only she had known Tongue Fu, because when people complain, we're not supposed to explain, because the more we explain, those explanations come across as excuses. From now on, what we're going to suggest is when people complain, don't explain. Take the AAA train. A for agree, A for apologize, A for act. A for agree. "You're right, Miss Perry. You did have an appointment at 10 o'clock. Apologize. And I'm sorry it's taken so long." A for act. "And let me go and back, see how much longer the vet is going to be, and then we'll go ahead and get your cat in." Do you see how focusing on the A train expedites complaints? Explanations aggravate complaints. There was a gentleman in an audience and he had one of those Homer Simpson moments. "No." I said, "What?" He said, "I could have used this last Friday." I said, "What happened?" He said, "I was going out on my second date with someone I had met at Match. Now, I was going to pick her up from her workplace downtown. I work out in the suburbs, so I was supposed to pick her up at 6 o'clock. I left at 5. Should have been plenty of time to pick her up. You know what happened. There was an accident on the freeway. It was gridlock." He said, "I couldn't move forward. I couldn't move backward. Everyone around me just turned off their engines. We just sat there. I couldn't call her. My cell phone had died. I didn't have a plug to juice it up or anything." And he says, "I finally got downtown about 6:30. He said, "From a block away, I could see her pacing up and down the curb. I pulled up. She yanked that car door open. She said, 'You were supposed to be here at 6 o'clock. He says, "I know. I'm sorry. I got stuck in traffic." She said, "How was I supposed to know this? Why didn't you call?" I said, "My phone was dead." She said, "I didn't know if you were in some ditch somewhere." She said, "If you'd forgotten." Back and forth they went. He said, "It ruined our evening. I don't think there's going to be date 3 with this date." Now, here's the thing. He said, "If I had known this last Friday, when I pulled up and she yanked that car door open and said, 'You were supposed to be here at 6 o'clock, I would have said, "You're right. I was supposed to be here at 6 o'clock. And I'm sorry you ended up waiting so long. And in the future, if I'm going to pick you up on a Friday night, I'm going to build in a cushion for Murphy's Law. Thanks for understanding. Let's go and have a nice evening." Now, chances are they would have had a pleasant evening instead of going back and forth. Now, if you're thinking, "Why should I apologize? I didn't do anything wrong." Have you heard the saying, "We can be right or we can be happy"? When people are complaining, I think if we apologize for what went wrong, we're not saying it's our fault. We're not saying we're to blame. We're simply putting ourselves in the other person's shoes and imagining what it was like for them to be in the dark and in limbo and wondering what's going on and not knowing. When people complain, don't explain. Those explanations come across as excuses. Take the A train. A for agree, A for apologize, A for act. If you do take the A train, chances are you will expedite those complaints instead of aggravate them. In our next lesson, we'll talk about what to do if you've ever been in one of those meetings where something has gone wrong and the blaming has begun.